Hello and welcome to the Indie Game Review video here for the Sanitarium.FM YouTube channel. I'm the predicted Cyborg, and today we are going to be reviewing a fairly unique little action-adventure game called Don't Open the Doors, developed and published by Anton Riot. Don't Open the Doors is a game that takes place in this rather strange, colourful world made of clay, in which, long ago, apparently, humanity lived in peace doing whatever the heck they did peacefully, until suddenly random doors to other weird dimensions started appearing out of nowhere, and monsters flooded out of the doors, and so most people had to move out of the city. You play a person who has been given the Mega Bomb, which apparently has been developed by scientists over a year and a half to blow up the main door and stop the threat of the doors. Of course, as you quickly learn, almost from the minute you get into the game, you might pretty much be one of the few sane people in this game. Everybody else acts the way they want to, nobody else seems to be on your side until you meet a person called Ray on the other side of the city, and pretty much everything can talk in a way, or it might be able to talk. Pumpkins, mushrooms, insects, quite a lot of things in this game can talk for some reason, although some of them can't, or maybe they just don't want to talk to you, I don't know. But also for the majority of these things that can and will talk to you will be rude or snarky to you in some way, and it's just something you kind of get used to after a while. And it's actually pretty unique for an indie game. I mean, I can't really recall any other big claymation games, or any at all, to be honest. So, this is the first of its kind, and it does work very well. Whoever has done the claymation of this has put in a lot of effort, and it works very well, because it runs perfectly fine, and it looks perfectly good. Of course, one of the other big features of this game is that a lot of the environment is destructible, which does include some of the things that are actually being very rude and snarking at you, so, sometimes you can get a little bit of revenge. You do actually manage to grab a hammer in the first dungeon you go to, which, strange enough, is not inside a door, but it's inside a cave, and then you use that hammer to basically pound everything into a pulp. Bugs, plants, there's a lot of things that you can hit with your hammer and reduce to pulp. And it does make this game fairly satisfying, because while there are still some things you can't reduce to pulp with your hammer, there are a lot of things that you can do, and finding out what you can is part of the fun. In fact, while recording this footage, I actually found out at least 2 new things that I was able to smash with my hammer, which I hadn't seen before, which made it an awful lot of fun. And of course, if you've been trying to get through a puzzle or a side quest in this game and just can't do it, smashing some flowers, some percussive gardening is very therapeutic. Of course, as I mentioned, this means that the game has quests, side quests, and the main quest, of course, which is due with the Mega Bomb that you're meant to be delivering. Not to spoil it, but very early on, you kind of lose it, so you need to team up with another person called Ray, who is pretty much one of the few people in this game who will help you and actually be nice to you, to build an entire new one. So you're basically sent out on a bunch of fetch quests to go and get the things that you need so that Ray can make a new Mega Bomb so you can blow up this last door. However, it does seem that maybe there's something more going on inside the doors than you are originally led to believe. For one thing, the monsters keep carrying books back through the doors, because apparently knowledge is kind of like a food for the inhabitants of the doors, and sometimes, in fact, pretty early on, you will go into a door to retrieve a book for Ray, and you will come across a completely white humanoid figure who will teach you several abilities. You can then pop into more doors throughout the world as you find them, rescue more books, and encounter this guy again to learn more abilities. You start off with 2 being offered to you, one to make composites out of berries, which means you can actually restore health on the go, or being able to use explosive fruit as bombs. I would pretty much recommend getting the composite for one first, but then finding a second door so you can get the bomb fruit ability, because both of them will be pretty goddamn useful. Although the bomb fruit one, you don't throw it, you just kind of leave it on the ground and run away from it before it explodes. So how do I find this as a game? I quite enjoy it. The viewpoint is isometric, which is a little bit of a pain to get used to sometimes. I've never exactly been brilliant at isometric games, but once my brain has kind of figured out moving and everything, it's pretty goddamn fun, and I can aim things pretty well. You do move with your keyboard, and you select things with your keyboard as well, though you can also use your mouse to select things, and you aim and attack with your hammer using the mouse, which is a pretty simple control system to figure out, so there's probably not going to be much difficulty with controlling this game, and it is very colourful, and learning how to smash things, and as I say, sometimes being able to smash the things that are snarking you is very, very satisfying, because, if they're going to be rude to you, then they had probably better pay the consequences. You might have some issue with this game if you're not so good at isometric games, because, as I said, I had a little bit of trouble with the directional controls at first, although at least aiming's on the mouse, which makes that at least a little bit easier. Moving around might be a bit more of a pain, and sometimes there are hazards on the floor, so sometimes you'll find yourself stepping on those. There are definitely points where I just got so sick of it, I literally walked over the traps just to take shortcuts and took the damage anyway, waiting to grab a health boost from a dropped box or an enemy bug that was squashed or something like that. As I said previously, the art, the graphics of this game are very impressive, and I'm pretty damn impressed with the sound design as well. I like this game quite a lot. It's very colourful, it's very imaginative, it's a bit strange, and I would dearly love to know why everything in this world is so rude and snarky and strange, and just what's going on with the doors in the first place and why they appeared. So I'm going to have to wait a little bit further in the game to find that out. So that's a mark of a good game who wants to make you keep playing. And as I said before, if there are any cons to this game, it's probably that if you're not used to isometric games and how they move, you might have a bit of trouble with that. And also, I do feel that sometimes there could be a little bit more direction about where to go. There is definitely a few points where I feel as if I've come to a point where I don't know what to do next, and I've literally had to wander around and try and just talk to everything and go everywhere to find out what it is I need to do next. So that is probably one of the few complaints that I would have about this game. If you wish to try this game out for yourself, it is very cheap. It's $7.99 in the US store and only £5.59 if you're buying it in the UK. There's also a soundtrack available, as well as a pack that comes with both the soundtrack and the game. In the UK, that's £7.18. Unfortunately, I'm unable to look at the price in the US Steam store, so it's going to be whatever the equivalent is going to be over in that store. I suggest you go have a look if you're interested. So who would I recommend this game to? I recommend it to people who want to try some indie games that are slightly different, slightly quirky. If you like adventure games, if you like isometric games, then you are going to enjoy this one. I would definitely recommend it. And so that does it for another indie game review here for the Sanitarium.FM YouTube channel. I'm the Predictive Cyborg, and we have been reviewing Don't Open the Doors. Remember, stay tuned to this YouTube channel for more news reviews and more of the same. Join us in our Discord if you want to chat, and find us on the website at www.sanitarium.fm for the radio shows and the articles. I'm the Predictive Cyborg, and I'll see you for the next one.